Hi friends, it's Noble. Today I want to do something a little different. I just off listening to a podcast called The Daily Stoic between Ryan Holiday and Rick Rubin, and it's super inspired me to sort of address a lot of these changes and how to thrive, I believe, as what I call a creative technologist in all of this change with agents and AI and that kind of stuff. And if you don't know who Ryan Holiday is, he's the best-selling author and what I consider a modern Stoic philosopher. He often references an ancient insight from Greek philosopher called Heraclitus, which is, you never step in the same river twice. That's such a powerful quote. And I think it resonates today. I'll explain. The water has changed, right? The riverbed has shifted with AI and agents, and we're wondering what is going to happen with our lives. So most importantly, you should change too. Like, you have changed, whether you want to or not. And I believe that this wisdom, for me, without even knowing that quote, has become a guiding principle as I sort of navigate different parts of my career. Every project, every challenge, every technological shift has been a different river. Each time I've had to become a different version of myself to accept and then navigate it successfully. AI is not the only change that we as a society have seen. It just seems to be the most profound within our recent memory. And the central theme of my journey, I believe, as I reflect, is adaptability. One of my very first Medium posts was about adaptability and change. And I believe that the ability to evolve my skills, perspective, and even my goals as the technology landscape changes. A creative technologist, it becomes not just like a job title, it becomes a mindset that thrives in constant flux. I will throw a lot of the articles that I sort of talk about in the description of this video, whatever medium that I decide to push this as. I may not even post this video, but I just sort of a stream of consciousness based on a bunch of quotes that I got from the Rick Rubin, Ryan Holiday conversation. And I just want to sort of react with that. So the first quote was that if you go into every project as a student, you will learn and grow and change. If you go into every project as the master, you might not. This was almost Buddhist in nature. It's like, if your cup is already full, there's no more knowledge to add to it, or, something like that. So this was from music producer Rick Rubin, and he shared this insight during a conversation, this podcast episode, and I'll link that as well. And I believe it perfectly captures how I stumbled upon my first real breakthrough in my career. I was trying to land a full stack developer role at a little known company at the time called SNL Financial in Charlottesville, Virginia. But I had a problem. Everyone interviewing probably had more traditional back-end and front-end experiences than I did. What I had as my personal competitive advantage was an obsession with making data feel alive through what we called RIAs, rich internet experiences, which are, for SNL, at least the work that I was doing was interactive macromedia flash and ActionScript interfaces. This is before Ajax and JavaScript and Node and some of the interfaces that we take for granted today. Yes, I'm pretty old. The master's approach at the same time was rigid. The back-end first development, the clean code, the proper architecture, efficient queries. All of these are important but predictable. I took a student's approach. I asked, what if we make this financial data feel different with Flash interfaces? Instead of just building what they asked for, I prototyped an interface where users could manipulate financial models in real time. These were something called REITs models, or real estate investment trust models. Watching the numbers essentially just be manipulated, dance, and respond to their inputs as they drag stuff. It was novel at the time. I was just essentially creating a conversation between the user and the information. And I think that was very powerful. The willingness for me, the student, to ask, what if we tried something completely different, frankly got me the job. But more importantly, I think it taught me that bridging creativity with engineering wasn't a nice to have. Of course, I got laid off like maybe 8 months after that because it was just too radical at the time. But something in there sparked. So I broke this video into 3 parts for each quote. And so tune into the next quote and how I tie it all together at the end in the 3rd video. So thank you for your time, and see you in the next one.